In February 2000, Dr. Sheldon Johnson, a retired optometrist, was excavating a hill on his property when he discovered a dinosaur footprint on the bottom of a block of sandstone which had been flipped over. It was a Eubrontes track.
You'll notice that the track name is different than the dinosaurs. So we name tracks separate from the animals that make them because there are a lot of animals that make the same types of tracks, and we don't want to confuse that or make it seem like all of these tracks came from one single species, because that's not normally the case. A lot of dinosaurs make 3-toed footprints. A lot of mammals make 4- or 5-toed footprints that all kind of look similar. So we try to distinguish that.
Eubrontes were made by something like a Dilophosaurus. A large carnivorous dinosaur, it would have ruled this area. This is Coelophysis. Its tracks are known as Grawlator. It was a smaller carnivorous dinosaur that may have been on the menu for Dilophosaurus.
But right in here, there's a Eubrontes. If you look really close, there's a Grawlator right inside of the Eubrontes. And so we can see that dinosaurs definitely like stepping in each other's footprints. And that might have been because it was easier to step in a footprint that was already made, or they just happened to step right there. They also might have been running from it, because as you can see, this comes up. So this is the top layer. So this Grawlator would have been formed first, and then the Eubrontes would have formed over it. So it could have been that they were chasing each other.
Another common track type was called Batrachopus. It was made by an ancient crocodilian, Protosuchus. Apart from these, there were other smaller tracks around as well.
We have a few different tracks in here. One right here, we have labeled as a cynodont track, and it has been named Brasilicnium until recently. I'm writing a paper on it, so I'm trying to decide whether it is Brasilicnium or something else. And then this skull is from Kyantotherium, which is the animal that we think made Brasilicnium. And then in here, you can see there's like a little squiggly line that kind of goes all along this. And that is from a fish swimming back and forth. And so its fin on its belly would have been dragging along the sediment. And that would have helped to make some kind of trace. And you can see it in this picture a little bit better. It shows up. So you know that fish were swimming around. And then on this one, there are some tracks. They're kind of hard to see, but there are more Batrachopus tracks over here. And then in here, we have these, which they're some little burrows, probably made from something like a worm, burrowing through. And burrows are also a really common thing that we have here. You can also see right here we have more, and these are Scolethos. Scolethos is one of the most common burrow types. And they're just kind of circles. They look almost like a raindrop. And then this trackway right here is really cool. That was actually just published on, so this sign that we have hanging up for it is actually wrong, because the sign says it's Capicnium, and that means that a horseshoe crab would have made it, and they have redone this, so now we know that it was something like a crayfish or a crawdad, and they would have been roaming around at that time, so we know that it could have been something like that. And so the trackway just goes along right here, and a student from Utah Tech University just published that. It came out earlier in 2022. So.